Pharma Industries now. And you know why I think it's important? Looking at like, a lot of issues here. Okay? COVID and the rest, India looking to enter the supply chain, India-China imports, a lot of discussion around pharma बहुत important है. So pharma industries में, some facts that you have to know, that right now it is about, some facts, okay, it's about $30 billion industry, approximately in India, and this can grow to more than $50 billion industry, okay, 50 industries. Now, India is more important for the generic drugs. Okay, these account for almost 20% of exports. These are okay. A fast or pharmaceutical industry has recorded consistent growth of around 10% year on year. 10% year on year. Okay, so some facts, you know this, that this industry, there are certain pharmaceutical hubs. There are hubs. So hubs like Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Pune, Hyderabad, Vizag, Chennai, Ankleshwar, Vapi, Sikkim, Kolkata. Places like Indore, Ratlam, Baddi. Remember these names, please. Ahmedabad, okay, Pune, Hyderabad, Vizag, Chennai, Ankleshwar, Vapi, Sikkim, Kolkata, Indore, Ratlam. Both of these are in MP, and Baddi is in Himachal Pradesh. These are some, even Kochi, yes, Kochi. In fact, if you can remember some companies, like say Dr. Reddy's Lab, this is Hyderabad. We have Cipla in Mumbai, Biocon, Bangalore. We have Lupin, again Mumbai, Nicholas Piramal, this also is Mumbai. Inka headquarters hai. Okay, so 4 or 5 names, remember these facts. You can draw a map for this. This is also in big time news. Zydus Cadila. This is in Ahmedabad. Okay? So that's all. Okay. Know the data of production, exports, and the rest. These are the important pharmaceutical hubs, and those are the important companies, so that your answer looks like you have done some work on pharmaceutical center, say industries. Look this up. Then I hope you know that pharmaceutical industries, okay, these are of 2 types. That which they prepare active pharmaceutical ingredients, API, and those which are formula manufacturers. Okay? So API, active pharmaceutical ingredients, most of these are imported from China. And India is more famous for the formula manufacturers. That's the reason why India is one of the centers for production of cheap generic drugs. India becomes a center for the cheap generic drugs. So yes, 6-7% of API, yes, comes from China. Okay, and then India starts. And in India-China trade, in India-US trade, India is the next net exporter. For a long time, China has been blocking some of the pharmaceutical products from India. But when India gets access, India is going to expand its exports from India towards China. So know these facts here, okay? These are 2 important ingredients. Now, in terms of factors, in pharmaceutical industries localization. If you look at factors for pharmaceutical industries localization, very important factors include एक तो है API imports. We are still not making API, so more or less they should be near the ports. They should be near the transport hubs. We need a very good infrastructure for communication. We require a lot of supporting chemicals, and many of them are near petrochemical centers. Factors includes labor. This is a very skilled and trained labor. So these are found under and near the urban areas. Another factor is that we have to take care of climatic factors. Extreme climates are difficult in production of pharmaceuticals. Extreme climates nahi hona chahiye. And of course, these are very investment intensive. They require a lot of investments. So API inputs ke liye we need ports, and to sustain these ports even for exports, because this is a sector which is based on exports. Okay, so you need ports, you need good transport hubs for both imports and exports. You need to have good infrastructure for communication. You need labor, skilled labor. Climatic conditions should not be extreme. And you also need to have good amount of investments, because this is a sector that is rapidly innovating. Of course, one more factor is water, but then that's not a decisive factor, water. Now, because of these factors, what we find is most of the pharmaceutical centers are in the western region and in the southern region of India. Okay, not too many of them on the eastern side, northeastern side, or northern India mein nahi hai. Most concentrations are in the western and the southern region. और इसका mainly reason क्या है? These areas have good urbanization, these areas have good ports and communication, and they also are important petrochemical hubs. Hydrocarbons are important part of these chemical industries. If a lot of chemicals also get imported, so they also require the ports because of this. So this is how the industries are located. Dobara dekho, you know about some facts about the industry in terms of the size of the industry, generic drugs, what figures, import, exports, trade dependence. You know about the centers, which are mostly the pharmaceutical hubs, and some companies. Draw a map to locate all of this. Then you know what are the ingredients which are important. And India produces mostly the generic drugs, which are mostly formula manufacturing. And finally, what are the factors in the location of pharmaceutical industries? What are the locations? And if you look at the trends, in localization, I said number one, Western India and Southern India. This is one cent. Okay. Now, these centers, therefore, are mostly in the metros and in the tier 2 cities. They require a very strong sales, and the market, it is based on income levels. You need to have good purchasing power, and you need to have willingness to spend. In villages, that there are quacks, there are this Ayurvedic supplements. A lot of traditional medicine goes on in the villages. So the people are not willing to spend as much on medicines. Okay, so these are some of the important trends why the centers are located mostly in metros and tier 2, why they are mostly in Western India and Southern India. The reason are what I mentioned earlier, and these are also important reasons. They need to be supported by strong sales and distribution. They need to have good marketing, and you also need to have good paying capacity. Okay. You need to have good amount of willingness to spend to sustain these industries. Okay. So know these facts. Okay. Now come to the question I'm asking you. The question is, India's pharmaceutical industries can play an important role in industrial decentralization and industrial development. Comment. India's pharmaceutical industries can play an important role in India's industrialization and industrial development. Now, my question is, what does this word comment mean? You've got many questions, okay, which are centered around this word comment. You basically have to give your idea and support it. So your idea mein, this is more like a debate. You can support this or you can disagree with this. 50% positive, 50% negative. Fine, that's your choice, not a problem. But can the others tell me what they think? Okay, if they ask you comment, so आप क्या करोगे? Will you support this statement or will you not support this statement? You disagree more? बेटा एक बार ये points देखो आप. Okay, they are mostly in Western India, Southern India. They are near metros and tier 2 cities. They require a strong sales and distribution network. Okay, they need to have markets, okay, based on good income levels. These industries, okay, which need lot of labor, proper climate. They can't have extreme climates. They need support, okay, petrochemicals. They require lot of investments and innovation. Okay, you need to have favorable policies. So if I go, and you need to have ports for imports and exports. Once you know this, okay, now tell me, what do you think? Will pharmaceutical industries play a very important role in industrial decentralization and industrial development? You agree more or you disagree more? So if you are asking me, my verdict is that I disagree more. Pharmaceuticals, they are investment intensive. You can't have them anywhere. Okay. Although in terms of raw material, okay, they are footloose. In terms of raw material, they are footloose. Okay. But there are other factors which force their localization. In terms of raw material, these industries are footloose industries. They are not dependent on local raw material. Okay, that's why they are footloose. Ka matlab kya hai? Okay, that they're not dependent on local raw material. But there are other factors that force their localization. Other factors may HR factor. Ports hain, because they are dependent on external trade. You need ports. You need to have very good investments and innovation. You need to have skilled labor, and very important, they also need petrochemical industries ke linkages. So these other factors are going to be responsible for these industries not getting dispersed across the countries. And if you want to disperse it, for dispersal, okay, states should specifically have targeted policies to encourage setting up of such units. Example of this is Baddi, Himachal Pradesh mein. This is near Chandigarh. This is one place, Baddi Nalagarh in the Solan district. Okay, near Chandigarh mein, Himachal Pradesh government had gone out of the way to promote these industries. They gave them tax holidays. They gave them lot of support in terms of investment. They gave them tax breaks, yes, along with lot of land acquisition they supported, because of which Baddi could develop into a proper, okay, pharmaceutical hub of the country. So if you look at the natural factors, okay, or if you look at the regular factors, these industries are not going to be very easily dispersible. Yes, they can be part of industrial development. Yes, they can be part of industrial growth. They can get us better income, export growth. They can give us alternate employment. But to say that the industries can be set up anywhere to promote industrial development, that will be a wrong assertion, because they have very specific requirements in terms of, okay, their localization. But there are examples where some centers have developed, okay, which is Baddi in Himachal. In fact, Sikkim also. Baddi mein hai. I forget the place name in Sikkim. Sikkim has also encouraged the development of pharmaceuticals. Sikkim. Otherwise, all the other centers, they are near some petrochemical center, they are near some urban center, they are near some kind of ports, they are along pipelines, like Ratlam is along pipeline. RATLM, Ratlam in Madhya Pradesh is along the pipelines. Okay, so pharmaceutical industries really cannot be the basis of industrial dispersion as conveniently. So if you understand this answer, now you can look at your organization. Introduction may talk about the importance of industries, okay, talk about the growth of the sector, refer to COVID and India becoming a very important supplier of HCQ. India has lot of labs for trials, vaccination. What's that company's name, Indian company name, which is in advanced stages of trial? Bharat Biotech, yes. Bharat Biotech, halaki is controversial, the way ICMR has set the date for them to approve. Okay, so talk about this introduction here. Then you can talk about the following are the centers of pharmaceuticals. Draw the map of India and talk about the hubs and talk about the major companies. Draw them here. Okay. Or maybe you can also add one box here. What are the factors in localization? Okay, you can draw the map of India with the hubs and then tell us what are the factors for localization. And then you move on towards the body of the answer. So you can talk here about that India has many centers, but if we consider the factors, name them, okay, discuss them. So it does not look like pharmaceutical industries can be dispersed. Although pharmaceutical industries, these are footloose industries. They do not depend on local raw material. Most of the raw material are related to some imports. Most of them are related to, okay, some petrochemical centers, but they are footloose industries. Okay. However, factors like ports, factors like, so you discuss this properly. ये पूरा discussion करना है, why they cannot be dispersed. Why they cannot be dispersed. And then move on to say, next is, okay, but there are centers like Baddi, there are centers like Rangpo in Sikkim, then you talked about Assam, in Kamrup. Okay, these localizations were possible because of some specific policies by the states, okay, tax-free and so on. And finally, your conclusion, the pharmaceutical industry is a very important industry. Have some points on that and say that, however, this is not going to be, and conclude, okay, as a part of comment that, however, pharmaceuticals cannot be the basis of dispersion and development of industrial industries in India. Okay, and take the conversation towards that industrial development and dispersion is possible if India focuses on those 12 to 14 sectors which are priority sectors under Atmanirbhar Bharat. Okay, so what are those 12, 14 priority sectors? Maybe give 4, 5, 6 names. So if you want industrial dispersion, if you want industrial spread and industrial development, okay, we have to go by Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is about developing those 12, 14 industrial sectors and not look for pharmaceutical industries for the development of industries and their dispersal. But अगर आपने ये 4-5 discussions आज का कर लिया, okay, if you have by hearted today's classes, plus the class notes that you have, you will not miss a single question on industries. Policy करा दिया आपको. I've taken care of regional development. I've taken care of current affair issues. Okay, all the tricky questions, how you frame them, you will not miss a question on industries.